Now I just finished making a video about the Røde NT USB Mini, which Røde just sent me a couple of weeks ago to test out and review. But in that video, I also talked about other USB-based microphones, and one of which is the Røde VideoMic NTG, which I actually purchased a couple of years ago for myself for daily use. And I keep mentioning this microphone in all kinds of different videos, like for example the one that I just mentioned about the NT USB Mini. Now why do I keep mentioning this microphone? And it has everything to do with the fact that yes, it is a relatively expensive microphone, but it has so much in terms of its usability packed in. You can use this as a top microphone on your camera, so you can mount this in the cold shoe mount of your camera and have it there. You can also use it as an overhead microphone with, for example, an extension cord for the TRS connection. You can even use this microphone with, for example, the Røde VXLR Pro and then have an XLR connection to a proper audio recorder like the Zoom F6. And lastly, you also have the option to use this via USB-C directly connected to a computer and record voiceovers, podcasts, use this in live stream situations, or use it in a Zoom call, Skype conversation, and all of those things. And in that case, the mic jack actually turns into a headphone jack, and you can actually listen back to everything that is happening on your computer, and you only have that one connection to the mic. Now, this overflow of connectivity is one of the reasons I really enjoy this microphone, but the other is about the inbuilt features and the sound. I really like how this microphone sounds in terms of when I use it on camera for a overhead mounting position, if I use it on camera for vlogging and just at arm's length away, and also if I use it on a computer, for example, for voiceover. Now, is it the perfect microphone for all of these situations? Probably not, because, for example, the presence effect and especially the rejection of room tone and other noises is better with certain other microphones like the NT USB Mini for a USB connection or the pod mic, and also different than XLR microphones like the pod mic, the Shure SM7B, and others which you will need to use with a XLR recorder or audio interface. This here is my all-rounder. It's the microphone that I will be bringing on the travels to Marbella. It's the microphone that I wish I had years ago when I was a digital nomad, because it gives you the ability to record podcasts and use on camera and so much more. Additionally, you also have the smart power on-off feature here in this microphone, which means that usually you don't even have to turn this on manually. When you have this connected with your cord to your camera and you turn your camera into movie shooting mode, this microphone actually turns on all by itself if the camera is providing plug-in power. And of course, if the microphone also has enough charge. Now that might be the one small downside. This microphone does have an inbuilt battery, which you cannot replace or just exchange for another battery if, for example, you run out during a day shooting. However, you do have the ability to charge via USB-C even while using this microphone, so that's a plus. When you are using this as a USB microphone connected to your computer, you don't even need the battery because all of the power is actually provided by the computer, and the mic actually might end up charging a little bit. Additionally, you also have a built-in low-cut filter at 75 and 150 Hz. You can also accentuate a bit of the highs and give it a more of a presence, especially when you are using a min, muff, or blip on this. And you have a -20 dB pad, so when you are using this cup close, like for example when you are actually holding this to someone in front of them, then you want to engage that -20 dB pad, and you also want to do that if you're using this for live streaming. When you're using it this close, you want to engage the -20 dB pad, because otherwise the sound is clipping already in the microphone capsule in the mic before it even goes out of the mic jack or to the USB-C connection. It doesn't matter if you record in 32-bit float. If it clips in the microphone and it's output that way, then you will also record that clipping. So the -20 dB pad is a great feature to have the more versatility there. And it even doesn't change much when you use the gain right here at the end with the gain knob. For one, when you connect via USB-C, this here turns into the volume knob, so you don't even have the option to adjust the volume of the microphone itself. But additionally to that, the gain here doesn't really affect the clipping of the microphone capsule. However, the -20 dB pad does affect the clipping of the capsule. And lastly, with the features that you can turn on and off here, I also love that it has the safety track, which means that in the case of, for example, mounting this on top of your camera and you're in a vlogging position or a vlogging setup, and you miss the setting of your gain and maybe it was too loud because previously you were using the built-in microphone of your camera and you had to jack it up really high. Now you have the additional safety track, which is again 10 or 20 dBs less loud than the main track, and so you can separate those out in post and work with whichever sounds best. All of that combined with the great Rycott shock mount, which I sometimes have to work a little bit with because it can also get a little wobbly. So that is something that I still am getting used to and know how I can prevent this specifically when vlogging and holding a camera that is a little bit shaky. Then you also have the ability to move this backwards and forwards. So you can actually extend this to get it closer. But if you have a wide angle lens, you might actually need to push this back. However, then it can block the viewfinder. So if you want to go in close, you might want to push this forward again. But I prefer it in the back because that also means that the weight of the microphone is distributed more evenly between the back and the front. Then, of course, you also have the capsule itself with the wind muff or the foam that comes with it. However, I sometimes also find that a bit of a dead cat can be helpful to reduce the wind noise more if you are in an incredibly windy environment. But generally, I keep the wind filter on and just use it this way. Now I almost forgot to add some sound samples, so here they are, starting with a vlog type setup here with the VideoMic NTG mounted on the Canon EOS R with the setting of the audio set to the lowest gain level with the battery grip, which is why I'm shaking a little bit, the 15 to 35mm lens at 15mm. Now I like it more at this range, which is about 20mm, but generally this is how it sounds at about an arm's length of distance, and maybe possibly you can hear the shaking of my arm in the microphone vibrations. And now I'm also going to include some sound samples with the setup into the podcasting position, recording via USB-C onto the computer, and also how it would sound with an interview type setup with the Track E audio recorder. So now let's jump into that, as you already know how it sounds when I'm vlogging with it. And now this is me recording with the MacBook Pro connected via USB-C, and this is how it sounds when the microphone is a little further away with the -20 dB pad disabled. However, if you start talking more into the microphone, then you will want to enable it. Now, this is how it sounds when I really go close up onto the microphone and I talk directly into the capsule, so you know how that sounds when you would use this directly as a podcast microphone. And now I just saw that with the last signal, we got some clipping, which was displayed here on this little LED. Now I engaged the -20 dB pad, and you can hear how the audio sounds with that being engaged when I am really up close on the microphone. And now let's move on to an interview situation. And so you can also use this in an interview setting, for example, like right now. Here.
Hello.
And you can hand the mic back and forth, and this is recording into the Track E audio recorder with the -20 dB pad because it is so close to the mouth. Now, how does this work?
I think it works pretty well.
Maybe the holder is not the prettiest, but I think it works pretty well too. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's better. Now, I hope this video brings across the excitement for this microphone. It is a couple years old at this point, and I have been owning this for like 2 or 3 years now. However, I do think it is a great investment into a filmmaker, podcaster, content creator kit. It gives you so much versatility. Okay, it costs a bit more than maybe other alternatives that might be on the market, but being able to use it with your computer on the camera and all of these different environments like a overhead microphone or even holding it in front of someone for an interview, all of those things are really, really great. And if you would have to get one microphone for each of these individual tasks, you would probably spend more than when you get this. Now, if you have a very specific use case, like for example, you just want to do podcasts and you want to have the best microphone for that job, then it might be a good idea to check out other microphones like the NT USB Mini, like the PodMic, like the Shure SM7B, or maybe even something like the Wireless Go, which gives you a completely different feature set when you walk away from the camera and you still want to sound great and have the microphone right there with you, but of course also record into a camera or use that sound for a live stream. That is like the one thing that this here will not give you. But this microphone here can be combined with the Rode Wireless Go, meaning you can actually hook up your Wireless Go transmitter right here to this microphone, And now you have a wireless microphone which you can use for the purpose of, for example, doing an interview, or if you want to have this as an overhead microphone and you don't want to worry about any long cables that you drag around. And of course, with the wireless Go being able to have 2 transmitters, you could even still have one microphone mounted to yourself and have this here ready to go, for example, again, for the purpose of running around and doing interviews. All of that with the wireless Go and the VideoMic NTG would cost around 500 US or euros. And I think that that is really bringing you an incredible versatility. Now, I just had to finally make a video specifically about this microphone and highlighting the features that I just love about this mic so much, because it, again, became a little bit ridiculous that I always refer back to this. Now, maybe I can refer back to this video instead of actually talking about this mic in all of these other videos. If you're looking to buy one of these microphones, I would appreciate if you use one of my links in the description below. And of course, I will also have other videos mentioning other microphones, how they compare and how they compare in different environments as well. Now, if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a super thanks. That always helps out greatly so I can make more videos like this happen. And with all that said, I hope you have an amazing day. Maybe pick up this microphone to improve your sound and use it very versatilely in all kinds of different environments. And I hope to see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.